All right, all right, all right. Yo, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I moved the webcam back just for these veteran spotlights. So, it's a weird adjustment. I think I might just leave it here. I don't know. Whatever. But, anyways, what's going on? Happy Friday. Thank you guys for being here. It is the last day of, it's the last day of the year, last day of 2021. I couldn't think of a better way, personally, myself, than to do the veteran spotlight with my brother. It's gonna be a good time. Know you guys are gonna enjoy it. So it's great. I'm so excited about this. And I think we're just gonna have we're gonna have a good time, listen to his stories, and kind of go from there. But yeah. So I can't promise I won't get teary eyed. Already getting choked up right now. Good times, good times. I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's pull up the other screen. My man, my brother, the man, the myth, the legend. It's my brother, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, what's going on?
It's John Cena. Brr, brr, brr.
Hundred
What's good?
percent,
What's good?
100%. How are you doing?
Well, enjoying our quarantine, so to speak, with my family, and enjoying today. We're gonna be starting off the new year, doing it right,
Right.
and I mean, being here and talking with you, bro, it's it's a good blessing. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm enjoying this right now.
Thank you. Do you wanna introduce yourself?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
My,
your mic's getting all staticky.
ooh, is that better?
No, it's not. Oh no, technical issues. Yo, it's not a stream if some shit doesn't go wrong.
Okay.
it's
It shouldn't be. Wait, hold on.
all good. It's all good. We have these problems more often than not. More often than not. I have to his volume down super loud. All right. All right. But anyways, yeah, it should be good. Should be a good time. Once we get all these little stuff
Tech
here worked out. Yeah.
technicals, technicalities. I'm trying to make sure everything else is good.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds better now. Comes and goes. Anyways, yo.
Anyways, my name is Alex Williams or Alexander Williams. I am proud to say that I was able to serve
Hell
in
yeah.
one of the finest prestigious military branches in the world, the
What?
United States Marine Corps,
You mean
or
the finest? Excuse
the
me.
one and only. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it started off. Honestly, to tell you the truth, it started off as a one upper. I'm not gonna even lie. One of my good friends I grew up with, his name was or was is Garrett Clark, and we went to middle school together and high school, and we both said to each other that we were going to join the Air Force together.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was one summer, like we were supposedly training and getting ready to go to the office, the recruiting depot, and sign up and do our pledge and everything. And then he goes literally like a weekend before me,
Mhm.
and he leaves. Like we have a party his birthday party, and then he says, "This is my last time because I'm leaving next weekend." And I'm like, "What? You joined without me?"
Yeah.
And he was all like, "Yeah." And so he left. He freaking left. And then I was bitter. I'm not gonna lie. But then I said, I'll one up him.
Yeah.
I'll one up him. I went over to during this time, like we had graduated high school and everything, and we were trying to figure out my life goals, my what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a cook. I wanted to go to Le Cordon Bleu. I got accepted to Le Cordon Bleu in San Francisco,
Nice.
and then once I got to Le Cordon Bleu, I was underage, so I couldn't continue, I guess, the alcohol infusion class to the advancement of alcohol into cooking, because you have to be ages 21 to
Yeah.
at least partake in alcohol beverages. So I was stuck doing health and what was it, health and integration to food science, and I did that like 2 or 3 times and I passed all the time, and I got tired of it. And so I had like a moment of clarity for myself. I wanted to say I did something on my own. I wanted to prove myself, not only to myself, but to everybody else, that I didn't need a handout.
Yeah.
Because when I was going to Le Cordon Bleu, my aunt on my dad's side said that she'll pay for me to go, as long as when I was done, I'd be her personal cook.
Hmm.
And it's a sweet deal, but I kind of didn't want that lifestyle, because I was young,
Yeah.
didn't know who I wanted to be,
Yeah.
didn't know what I wanted to do. So uh, I walked in to the Marine Corps recruiting office in San Leandro, California, and I'll never forget his name, Sergeant Corum, coolest dude in the world.
Hmm.
I walk into the office, and I walked in straight to the Marine Corps office, and I saw him, and he gets up, he comes to me, he comes and talks to me. He goes, "What's going on, young man? How you doing today?" And I was like, "I'm fine. How are you doing today?"
Yeah.
And he's trying to spit to me the Marine Corps verbatim, telling me about the Corps, the history, and everything like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of looked at him like, "Can you stop bullshitting me for a moment?
Yeah.
Can you just hear me out?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "So, what brought you in here today?" I was like, "I know what the Army can do. I know what the Navy can do. I know what Coast Guard can do. I know what the Air Force can do. I want to know what you can do for me, because I know what I'm bringing to the table."
Mhm.
And then he goes, "All right, well, here, let's since you're that confident, let's take the ASVAB." Okay, took the ASVAB. I got one of the second highest scores. Now, mind you, I was like fresh out of freaking high school and college. So it's like not out of 100, but it was like I scored like a 98 or something like that,
Mhm.
and which is pretty good. And they walked in there and they gave me a list, a full freaking paper of every job that I could pick.
Yeah.
And I was all like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, you can pick any one of these, any one of that's highlighted." And I was all like, "Okay." So I look down, I look, I look, and I chose to be a cook.
Yeah.
Yes, a freaking cook. The sergeant there, he looks at me, he was all like, "Out of everything here, why did you choose to be a cook?" I was like, "That's my path I want to take. That's what I want to do." So he goes, all right. He steps out, goes and talks to their gunny that was in there. And like all I see is this dude is holding up his hands, talking about he wants to be a freaking cook. They come back into the room and they place these 3 tiles down. uh, And on these 3 tiles, it says honor, courage, and commitment. Now, I knew what they were to me. I mean, the definitions of honor, courage, and commitment. I got that. But then he came in with these subtitles, or these subtiles. And he was all like, "Well, I want you to take these and put these under which one you think they all correspond to. And so I did that. I divided everything that I could possibly see that made sense with the definitions of honor, courage, and commitment, and I put them all underneath it. So when all of that happened, Sergeant Corm looked at me. He was like, I've never seen anybody do that before. I've never seen anybody take all these other words and put them underneath these three like you've done. And I said, this is the embodiment of honor, courage, and commitment, is it not?
Mhm.
And so I guess he just stepped back and he was just in awe. And honestly, I think it was a front, but then it could have been like, yo, he was actually hit me on some knowledge stuff.
Yeah.
So then of course I started doing their little PT program, running around my city. And man, I trying to remember everything date by date. It was one of the craziest things because I left on um August 8th of 2008. 2008.
You'd already left. You
And
left August 8th to the depot.
MCRD. Yes.
I'd already done 2 tours in Iraq by then.
I mean, it was one of the craziest
uh,
things because it was like one night I'm having a party with all my family, and they're like, they bring out this Marine Corps cake talking about congratulations for your life choices.
yeah.
It was a red velvet cake. Oh, it was delicious.
Hey.
Not knowing that that was going to be the last sweet thing I will have eaten for the next 4 months, 4 or 5 months. But
Yeah, it's all good.
I mean, that happened, and then that happened. I leave. Since I was going in, I was a fat body.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't know what a fat body is. I was overweight,
Yeah.
and wait, can you hear me good enough? Well,
Yeah, I can hear you. Your levels are good. Yeah.
okay,
Little
okay.
lag in there for a second.
Choppy.
Yeah. A little choppy.
Okay. I went in as a fat body, so the night before we took off, from the Oakland airport to San Diego,
Hmm.
which is not even 45 minutes, or the whole flight itself was
Yeah.
like 45 minutes. But um I was drinking what we called a cherry bomb to drop those extra pounds. Ain't nothing but magnesium citrate just to make you take your shit.
Hmm.
You got a boo boo, baby. Mud butt. But man, I'll tell you this, it was one of the scariest things to do because it's a new experience. And
Yeah.
most new experiences, you're never fully prepared for what's about to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big lifestyle change from being 18, 19-year-old kid to uh, being shaped into America's most
Finest.
deadly
Yes.
fighting force.
Yes.
100% completely
Yes.
different.
So, I mean, I touched down on the yellow footprints.
Whew.
Uh, man. And man, that night, I've never felt so degraded.
Yeah, all right. All
God.
right. Here's this question. When you were sitting on that bus, that drill instructor comes on and says, "Look, you're going to this is going to be intenseful. This is going to be this, be that, blah blah blah." Gives you that speech. What was going through your mind when uh you know, when he got off the bus and then your receiving drill instructor walked on the bus and was like, uh I don't know exactly, what they said to you, like, earball or ears. Like I don't know what they said. Like listen up or whatever. What was going through your mind at that moment? Like at this moment, he knew he had fucked up. Like,
The moment I felt during that was, oh shit, I'm gonna be yelled at the whole time.
yeah,
Is this what it said? I'm in trouble. God
yeah,
damn it. Like that's the whole, like, personally, on who I was growing up, how my mother had raised me. Um, it was funny.
yeah,
So if you think it's funny and they see that,
yeah,
it's not funny. So when they tell you to put your heads down and we're gonna go in order, you're gonna get off my bus and you're gonna step on the footprints, the yellow footprints. And when you stand on these yellow footprints, you will not be moving. You'll be standing straight. You will not be you or it said you will not be looking around. You'll be looking forward, and then you'll stand there until greeted and received. And I was just like, oh crap. And then the movement from the yellow footprints into the building where they tell you to take out everything in your pockets.
yeah.
I felt like, man, is this what prison is like? Where you go in, they strip you down, they make you, they put you in your underwear pretty much, and then they, well, not really like put you in your underwear, but
No, you get butt
I mean
naked
that
because you got to switch into
that comes later.
the recruit clothes.
That's after they shave your head, though.
Yeah, yeah,
That's after
that's true.
the buzz cut, which I was not really looking for. Cause I was in my head, I was like, I hope none of these motherfuckers got lice before me, cause now I'm gonna end up with it on a shaved head, and
Yeah,
I guess it didn't matter,
it
cause even
doesn't.
if
Yeah,
you did get it, it
it
was
don't
all gone.
matter. Yeah,
But bro, blackout week, oh, one of the hardest week ever, cause I poop on a regular, and you can't poop on a regular on blackout week.
yeah,
You're stuck eating bag nasties and drinking elementary school red drink,
yeah.
purplish.
Absolutely. Like they don't have flavors; they just have colors. Like the red
It's
drink or the
just
orange drink or the purple drink. That's it. Like they don't have. And when I say orange, I don't mean orange as in orange is. I mean the color orange. Like it doesn't.
corn, the color.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like oranges. It tastes like the color orange. It's the best way to
It's
explain it.
weird.
hmm
Yeah,
That's the best way to. The only way you can explain it.
you
It
get
is
that.
nondescript doctor's cough syrup medicine. Like there's no way else to break it down.
None. No, you're absolutely right, and it's crazy because the more you think about it, like I was stuck during that time. I'm not gonna lie. After a party, having magnesium citrate in my system,
Mhm.
mind you, I had to poop all the time, and now I'm shoving carbs. I'm shoving crackers,
Yeah, 100%.
uh, oranges all into my system, and man, it was life changing, life changing. I didn't think a grown man can, or a young man at my age then, could sleep Indian style in a hallway where everybody else is walking past you. Sleep standing up, which I found out is an actually good trait, but bad on some in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
But man, finishing all the paperwork, uh, all the health and safety classes you go through
Mhm.
that nobody really pays attention to.
You can't pay attention to him. You're
Um,
too tired.
and yet you go through that, and then daylight hits you. You're thrown into a big squad bay full of 130 plus people,
hmm
and then you're slowly picked off to go to your units. Freaking gangsta golf is what I was in, and you know what? Whatever. You know,
All right.
gangsta,
Mm-hmm.
gangsta golf.
Explains a lot.
Uh,
Explains a lot.
Oy. And I mean, for me, one of the best times. I think I don't know. Some people had bad experiences in boot camp, and some people had worse experiences in boot camp. I can't say people had good ones because it's.
Boot camp was
I
great.
mean, it.
Loved
I
it.
would have to say it was a state of mind. If you were mentally prepared, you could endure it. If you weren't physically prepared, you came out looking great.
Mhm.
Just saying. Um,
Yeah, boot camp's definitely
mentally
more
prepared.
mental. 100% more mental.
Yes.
You're gonna get
Yes.
physically fit. Period.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Oh,
And
it's more mental.
all you do is eat and run or eat and cardio. It was just
Ugh.
I didn't think it was gonna work like that, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Absolutely.
Um, like I said, one of the best points for me was when I went to my unit and in boot camp, gangsta golf, platoon 2146. Uh,
That's,
I think it was. What was that?
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I think it was my kill hat. His name was Sergeant Saunders. If you could picture King Kong,
Mhm.
uh, wearing uh pretty much uh the utilities for receiving. Oh my gosh, like that's exactly what he looked like. He had the drill instructor cover, everything just yoked.
Mhm.
Like I was like, dude, this is a big ass black dude. And then I look around, and then this is where it hit me. I'm the only black dude in my platoon.
Yeah.
I was like, um, okay, okay. So then they line us all up by our last name, and I was mad as hell because my last name is Williams. So I get stuck at the end,
Yeah.
and they're going through everybody. Our kill hat is lining us up. Our knowledge hat is over here freaking uh like getting all of our paperwork together, and then he just yells out, "You're not gonna meet your savior just yet." And I didn't understand what they were talking about by your
Yeah.
savior. Um, so they're going through everything, everything. Uh, and then they go through the jobs of everybody in that platoon.
Mhm.
So you hear people talking about being a firefighter, electrician, um, somebody being a comms or communication, admin, supply, and
Yeah.
like they're dogging all these people out, and like they come to uh, recruit Williams, first name Alexander, because there was another Williams in there. I think his name was Andrew, and they read it out loud. Cook, and I swear everybody in there did like this. So they all turned to me, and then they were like, "For real?" And my kill hat comes barging up. He goes, "Hey, hey, why you want to be a cook in my Marine Corps?" Uh, and I'm like, I like cook. Like, you don't respond to me. I was like, oh Lord Jesus, I'm not ready for this. And then he told me, you respond, recruit Williams, blah 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 blah. And then I was like, man, I'm gonna have a hard time with this.
Mhm.
So then he goes, from now on, you don't respond to recruit Williams. You respond to recruit Cook. I'm like, what? And then the whole time there, like I kid you not, the whole time I'm going from recruit Cook to Cookie to cream of wheat guy to cream of wheat guy made me that hurt me a little bit because
Yeah.
my kill hat actually brought the box of cream of wheat and he's
Mhm.
like, smile, smile, Williams, smile. And I was like, oh shit. But man, I mean, boot camp made me very happy with myself.
Yeah.
because I went in weighing 224 pounds, and
Yeah.
I came out of boot camp weighing 178 pounds. I've never had a 8 pack set of abs. I've
Hmm.
never had that in my life, and it made me in shape
Yeah.
until receiving or until graduation, when I saw my mother, because my mother has been writing me and showing me like the diets that she was doing, because I mailed her the diet recruits pamphlet for what you can eat and what you can't eat.
Yeah.
Oh man, she was losing weight with me.
Hmm.
But I'll never forget. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'll never forget in boot camp when we were in line to get food, and you have that sticker that says diet recruit,
Yeah.
and I'm in line, and I kid you not, they had no offense, those people with not those people who have special needs help
Hmm.
serve food,
Yeah.
and you have to stand there the whole time with your head to the side, and you slide to receive food. You slide to receive food, or you put your tray in. I didn't put my tray in, and the guy who was serving apple crumbly, which if you are a diet recruit, you're not supposed to have any dessert
Yeah.
whatsoever. He puts a big scoop of apple crumbly onto my tray. I didn't put my tray in. I didn't push it forward.
Yeah.
I had it as close as possible because you have to slide. So before you sit down to eat, you have to ask permission from whichever drill instructor is there, permission to eat, Recruit Williams requesting permission to eat, sir.
Hmm.
And then they review your tray, and then they say carry on. Well, they reviewed my tray. They looked at my shoulder, reviewed my tray, looked at my shoulder,
Yeah.
and they was like, oh, so you think you can just have whatever the hell you want? Recruit Williams. And I was all like, oh. So put put me in the middle table where all the drill instructors eat.
Hmm.
That one long stretch of table right in the middle.
Yeah.
And they had me eat apple crumbly in front of everybody in the chow hall.
Nice.
My
Yeah.
my kill hats weren't even in there. So
Yeah.
then they went to go get my kill hats.
Oh, that's
Let's just
great.
say I didn't enjoy apple crumbly
Ever again.
when it was going in and when it was coming out ever again.
Yeah.
My wife recently made it before. I was like, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
She's like, just try it. And I was like, nope. But they killed me. They slayed me. Oh my gosh, I've never had that much sand in my throat, pockets, uh, uh, everywhere in my life. It was life changing, so to speak. But I'll tell you, when it came when it came to the whole being slayed in my second and third month,
Yeah.
I kind of took it on to myself to say Recruit Williams feels like he's being singled out because he's the only African American uh in the squad bay.
Mhm.
So then they would go, okay, Williams. They'd be like, Johnson, come up. Sanchez, come up. They just name it out. Other people of nationality, a different races, and they're coming up to the top of the squad bay to get slayed with me.
Yeah.
So was I probably gonna get a blanket party? I thought so, but nobody messed with me.
Yeah.
Nope. Best day of my life is graduating, where my senior, my kill hat and my knowledge hat both come up to me and they pin your EGA on, and then you put it on your cover, you put it on your head, and then they shake your hand, and then they tell you, "Welcome to our brotherhood." And I swear, like, I've never felt so empowered in my life to be in formation, to hear that, to see all family members looking at you, and then having them say they're not blah 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 blah. These are now United States Marines. To this day, I mean, I'm tearing up right now just rethinking about that. But
Hmm.
bro, that was the best moment of my Marine Corps career till the day I finally took my DD 214 and I said, see you later.
Fuck this
But
shit. I'm out.
but man, that from graduating
Yeah.
to going to MOS or MCT at Camp Pendleton and then heading off to Fort Lee, Virginia to my MOS school,
Hey.
bro, best times ever. We had a gunny and he was Gunny Williams.
Gunny Williams. Good old Gunny Williams, huh?
Oh my gosh, that dude was amazing.
Yo.
They just kept laughing because I looked just like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
100%. Yeah.
when we were there, I mean MCT was fun, but MOS school at Fort Lee, Virginia was the best. I met Gunny Williams. I met a lot of the people I was going to be cooks with. One of my good friends to this day, his name is Christopher White. Best dude in the world, and I got a story for you about him. But he was one of my partners I met at MCT and at school, MOS school. And during MCT, he actually allowed me to go with him and his family for Thanksgiving when I was far away from mine. So I kind of stuck to him and we became very good friends.
Mhm.
But MOS school, man, I did so much. Oh, my son just smashed his hand in a tray. Oh, I felt bad.
Mm.
Oh, okay. But
Poor guy. He'll be all right.
all right. Yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Um
Screaming
so
bloody murder. So,
right. So at MOS school, Gunny Williams, he made us, it was like a night run where we were doing sprints back in on the backfield. And he goes, uh, I'll give anybody 2 days off if they could beat me in a foot race. I
yeah.
was like, Gunny Williams, I could beat you. And he looks at me, he goes, you got some thunder thighs, you ain't gonna beat me. You got all that weight.
yeah.
I was like, Gunny, you say that. I was like, I was always taught to lead with my body weight as momentum, but I let my legs talk for me.
yeah. Yeah.
So he's like, all right, everybody get in, everybody get in. So we're all racing. I smashed Gunny Williams. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
To the point to where he just, damn, Williams, I didn't think you could move that fast. I was like, for 2 days off, bet.
yeah.
Now at Fort Lee, Virginia, a cook still had to cook. That was part of the training. You go to your class and then you go in the galley and you cook, and then literally all other soldiers and Marines would come in and eat. So hey, I had 2 days off of that, so that was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, graduating class and picking your duty station, you had, whoa, what was it? You could pick three, but your top one and then your second best and then a third one that you randomly wanted to go to or whatever. So of course I picked, ooh, let's go home. So I went California, and then I was like, all right, let's do Hawaii
Mhm.
and then Okinawa. And I was blessed but I was upset at the exact same time because they were all like, "Hey, Williams, you got California," which Camp Pendleton, and I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
But then they're all like, "Oh, for those people who want to go to Hawaii, they had open a certain amount of open spots, and I wasn't one of them." But then they were all like, "So we went with people's second best, which was Okinawa, and that was my third." And I was like, "Oh, I just missed that one because I
Mhm.
wasn't ready to depart for that amount of time overseas."
Yeah.
But I went to Camp Pendleton, and as soon as I get to Camp Pendleton, uh, not gonna lie, CLR 17
Ugh.
was always deploying, always deploying. So
Yeah, this is true.
as soon as I get there, freaking, I'm not even 3 months in. They're like, "Hey, Williams, you're gonna be deploying in the next couple of months." Or within the next, yeah, a couple of months, because it would have been at the beginning of the new year. And I was all like, what the hell? Like, I'm young, life choices hasn't even hit, and I'm thinking about my legacy, what I'm leaving behind, who I'm leaving it behind to. Um, what have I, excuse me, what have I accomplished? What haven't I not attempted? Uh, like, have I enjoyed sex? Like, these are all the questions that I'm asking myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fudge. And then my favorite person, Sergeant Kent.
I'm glad
Sergeant
he was
Kent.
your favorite person. Uh,
Well, the only reason why I say he was my favorite person is because when I went to CLR 17, I got pushed over into the 14 area chow hall
yep.
before I got moved to field mess.
Yep.
And he was in the chow hall. It was him and Corporal not man he uh black dude uh reminded me of a Southern Carlton.
Other Carlton.
Uh, yes, if Carlton wasn't from L.A. but more so Mississippi, he had
In
that
the Chow Hall,
serious. He was in the chow hall. He
14
was
area
like
Chow Hall.
Sergeant. He was Sergeant Kent's like right hand.
Mm. Oh, you're talking about are you talking about the dude who we used to go to San Diego with, clubbing? He used to drive us. It was you,
No,
me, Wellens. Uh,
no,
no.
not him. Oh no,
Okay.
not him.
I'm trying to
I'll figure it out.
yeah,
It was
yeah. Okay, so time frame wise, to
good.
backtrack a little, you got to CLR 17 when, like time frame wise.
So if I'm trying to remember. So it was August, September, October, and November-ish. November. It was MCT. December,
Like
January,
Marchish
February. About February, Marchish. Yeah,
of 2009.
and 9. Yeah.
Okay.
So about that time, I was no, it was yeah, about 2009 because I had came back and I had gotten married
Mhm.
to the one we will not name. She who will not be named. But I will say this. I will say this. Sergeant Kent warned me. He said, "Don't get married," and I ended up getting married. Like every other Marine who wanted to try to better themselves financially or whatever the case may be, who wanted a spouse, get their girl back from hometown or whatever.
Yeah.
But I got married, um, and I got my ex-wife pregnant, had my son, Deshaun, April of 2009, which I didn't leave for deployment until he was 5 months old. So about September, I I evaded my first deployment because I got married, had a kid, and then I couldn't delay it anymore because I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I wasn't ready. Um, we were still in time of war. We were still going everywhere, hitting hard. Doing what we do best. And
Absolutely.
I I'm I wasn't ready. Like, I don't think any human being is ready to go overseas and start shooting at somebody, taking somebody else's life until they're actually put into that mix. Like, yeah, you can shoot a deer in your backyard. Like I'm sorry. If everybody's life is different, everybody's life is different. My life, I wasn't ready for that. I mean, I was trained. I passed all my qualifications. Yes, and my swim call was more than a swim call four. I went to a swim call two
Yeah.
until I found out that you had to go against an instructor and take them, and I wasn't ready for that one because that. But anyway, um, I wasn't ready for that deployment, and then I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. I joined um from CLR 17. I joined the MEU, 11th MEU, and I mean, I met some of the dopest people there. There was another cook with us. His name is James Estrada. Bruh, that dude is the
Sure.
craziest dude I've ever met. He's Persian, and he
Hmm.
would always say, you know, my family kicked the Spartans' ass. And I was all like, hold on, wait a minute. Just because you're Persian, you ain't Xerxes, mother sucker. And he would always laugh. But he was one of those other defining factors of like my time there. But also I have to backtrack because I skipped a very important key member in my uh Marine Corps history.
Hmm.
When I was with CLR 17
Ugh.
Food Service Regiment, um, I was at the mess hall, the 14 area chow hall, and then I was moved from the chow hall to the field mess. Now, when was moved to the field mess, um, I had this cool ass sergeant. His name was Sergeant Conkle. Uh, he was like,
Sarnkonko's a man, dude.
bro. Okay,
Yeah.
so the best way I can describe Sergeant Conkle is a older version. Like, if Jonah Hill had a brother, it was Sergeant Conkle. Like, I don't know why, but if Jonah Hill had an older brother, it was him. And he drove his Honda, and he was hella proud about his two-door Honda. I believe he was racing, whatever. Um, Sergeant Buckner, the pretty boy face of the United States Marine Corps, but who also was a bodybuilder, and I swear, like, he would, hey, pull-ups and push-ups out of nowhere. Dude just had to stay in shape, and I don't blame him. But that's when I met a lot of interesting people until this one unit comes back from deployment, and I guess they get pushed out to field mess, and I met these three individuals. I can't remember the name of one of them, but it was um, this weird, skinny, redheaded dude named Colburn,
Weird.
and and a skinny black dude who reminded me of Wayne's Head. Uh, freaking I was about to call him Wellens. It's not Wellens. It was gosh, I can't remember his name now. What's his name?
Whose name?
Your old road dog.
Sutton?
Sutton. There we go. My goodness.
Oh
That
boy.
oh so and it was one other individual and it was funny. But I met these individuals at field mess when we were cleaning our field mess gear.
Y'all just finished
And we
Nahill.
had, and yeah, we did. We just finished Nahill
Yeah.
and we were cleaning it, and we were dealing with the tarps. And I'll never forget, because at that time you were a Lance Corporal.
Yeah.
And I was still a PFC.
Mm-hmm.
So you had rank over me. But you were cool because you were showing me how to do certain things, but also at the exact same time you were like you were there but you weren't there,
I
so
just
to
came back
speak.
from my second tour in Iraq.
And you were like, I don't want to be doing this crap.
I
So like
Yeah.
you pretty much handed it off the tarp to me to finish and just dipped.
Mm-hmm.
Like you Sutton and the other person, y'all just like disappeared. And I was all like, well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I was just like, all right. During that time, I've only ran into you a couple more times.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the Chow Hall where I heard so many interesting stories about you in the Chow Hall. And
Well, I got moved.
and
I got moved from field mess, uh, because of the incident with Stewart. Because you guys were finishing cleaning up Nahill, and me, Sutton,
yeah,
uh, Coolio, and oh man, who else
Sergeant
was there?
Couliard, yeah,
Yes, yeah, Sergeant
that
Couillard.
was
Yeah,
that
yeah, Sergeant Coolio.
Couliard, that
Yeah.
man.
We were sitting there smoking, and we were talking because I just came back from Iraq. I hadn't seen these guys in almost a year, and who was there? It was Corporal Ballard. Uh, he was out there, and Stewart comes up, and we're just sitting there smoking, and you guys were cleaning up. You guys were washing the pans from Nahill, and it was a Monday morning, and old boy was like, um, he was like, you two come in here and wash these pans from Nahill. And I was like, I wasn't here for Nahill. I'm not washing pans. I was like, it's Monday morning. Nahill finishes on the weekend. Like, why are they been sitting all weekend? And uh he said something. I said, he's like, that's just how we do it. I said, that's not how we do it. I've I've done this multiple times. Like, we don't do it. We usually everything's done by Monday. And he gets up in my face and starts like uh he starts yelling at me. I said, look, I don't know who you are. You, you need to get out of my face. And he starts cussing at me. And I said, look, you don't need to cuss. You don't have to put on an act or anything like that, you know. Uh, and I remember he took a couple steps back and he said something. He was like, don't make me make you or something. I said, if you take one more step, I'm going to lay you flat down. And he kind of like lunged. I just I ran at him, and everybody, they were all holding me back, and I'm still like making progress forward. And I was yelling at him like, I'll fucking kill you, blah blah blah. And then good old Gunny Mingo walks
Man.
out, and he's like, what's up, what's going on, hard chargers? And I'm sitting there yelling and stuff, and like I just see red, like I just got back from Iraq, like not even that long ago. And
The same unit that left you there twice.
yeah, absolutely. And he's like yelling at me and stuff, and it finally like calmed down and see things clearly. And he calls me in the office, and then like I was only at field mess for not that long after, and then I got moved to the chow hall.
Yeah, yeah, because I'll never forget because we were asking where everybody else went because we were trying to figure out how we were gonna finish everything by ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we had to do the tray ration heating systems, the freaking napalm bomb freaking stoves.
Mm-hmm,
We had to do all of that, and they were all like, "Oh, well, you have to do it yourselves."
yeah.
But bro, that like, man, Corporal Stewart. Ugh. Bad memories.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Gunny Mingo,
um,
Gunny Mingo backed the wrong horse on that one.
yeah, yeah. I, bro, that was really interesting coming
Yeah,
to actually think about it. But anyway.
yeah.
Uh, after running into you and Sutton and Sergeant Couliard, like I don't think I viewed the Marine Corps the same,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because I gotten to listen to like your stories of what happened for the brief time that you were there, because that's all y'all talked about. Because you were like, I'm not gonna lie, listening to you back then, you were
Yeah,
bitter as hell.
they left me
Like
in Iraq twice.
I get that, but like you were just all nobody could tell you anything, and it didn't matter what rank they were.
It's true.
And I mean that kind of went to now, to where you're at,
Yeah.
to like life, to our relationship. Like you've kind of had that mentality to where you better know your shit before you come and talk to me type, because if you don't know it, I'm gonna call you on it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna hold you to that.
100%.
And I mean, I think that's one of the best traits about you. But man, I tell you, when we were there in Field Mess, and then the brief time getting to know you, and then freaking what was it, coming or going to the 11th Mu, and then finally deploying. And I'm not gonna lie, I was on the Westpac, so it was like, the Marine Corps cruise, so to speak. I got to see the world. I got to go to Indonesia, Guam, Singapore, Thailand. I helped with the earthquake in Haiti, which for me was pretty great, because we got to. I mean, the president at that time came out there to help out, and when the president came, we were the three ships: the Baham Rashard, the Rushmore, and the Cleveland. And hey, Steam and Cleve, we were pretty much the protection for the president. We were held on standby.
Yeah.
But after he left, we got to uh or orchestrate, some relief. So we were helping out Haiti, which I thought was crazy. And that's kind of where things kind of started to take a toll on me, for the things that happened there, the things that we were a part of. And I mean, some things you're ready for and some things you're not.
Yeah.
And that was one of those I wasn't ready for. And after Haiti, I just kind of didn't feel the same
Mm-hmm.
until we were in the middle of the ocean, and we were preparing food. So we had these uh, big cauldrons, coppers, for thawing out chicken. And this is where my phobia of touching raw chicken comes in. Um, we were thawing out chicken, and you stir it with that big old freaking paddle,
Yeah.
and you'd have running water, but you had a drain cover at the bottom, so it wouldn't just gunk up; it'd just flow out, and the chicken wouldn't stop the water flow.
Yeah.
A rogue wave hits us, and I fall in.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, that was the most terrifying moment of my life, to be a African American drowning in a vat of thawing chicken.
Yeah. What a way to go, huh?
What a way to go. And bro, I tell you, everybody who was even in there, the Navy and my Marines, who were just a joke, because they see my legs swelling in the air
Mm-hmm.
until my legs started to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go, "Oh, let's pull them out." You know how sucky it is to try to get out of one of those things?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not talking, they weren't the small ones. They were the big ones, cuz this was when we were cooking for CP, or not GP, general population. Um pretty much everybody who was like a E5 and below.
Yeah.
Like we were cooking for them, and those are big freaking vats, coppers, and I couldn't get out. And when they pulled me out, that's when I finally got salmonella poisoning,
Mm-hmm.
and that was life changing. Salmonella poisoning was life changing, and I saw chicken differently,
Yeah.
very, very differently. But being a cook, bro, like I got to experience cooking for the chief warrant officers and freaking the captain, and also I got to cook for senior chiefs, E6s and up to E8s, like the best the best ever. Like these guys would give us money to go out in town whenever we hit a port just to get them more different exotic food so that they can have a delicious dinner instead of what we were serving on the ship.
Yeah.
But that's where that's where I kind of got in trouble too. Um, being on a ship, you don't have that many hobbies except for the hobbies that you make there. Um, One of my hobbies was hoarding Black and Milds and Newports and then reselling them
Mm-hmm.
and making a special menu for people who wanted to feel at home because a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich or Elvis with peanut butter and banana and honey, uh people be like, man, that just hit differently versus this baked chicken and steamed vegetables and rice. Well, some people just want that, and I would make that for them,
Yeah.
and they would be like, "Hey, yo, Williams, hey, let me get. Well, what is the special today?" And I'd tell them, and then they'll be like, "All right, I'll front you whatever later," and I'd be like, "All right, bet." So, you know, was I making money? Yes. I mean, everybody was trying to make money. Everybody was trying to, and if you didn't, that was just you lacking. But being a cook, I mean, I made friends with the mail guys, the comms, so I could call home
Yeah.
at night. I give them a tray full of cookies or a tray full of fruit,
Yeah.
and it not only did it boost their morale, but it also boosted mine because I got to contact family members, and
Yeah.
that was great. But I got in trouble on shit. I was gonna be up for promotion sooner than later, and my dumbass, I started collecting pocket knives because I just wherever we would stop, I would go and grab a souvenir, and a pocket knife was what I would grab. And I had
Yeah.
a serrated knife, and it was pretty cool because it was serrated on the bottom, but sharp as hell on the tip. So it was like it was about like a five or maybe six,
Yeah.
5 or 6 inch knife. It was a nice size, and one of my homeboys in the galley that it was cooking with us, he pulled out his little paper cutter knife. It was funny. It was literally about like this big, and
Yeah.
flings it open. He was like, "Look at my knife. I brought my knife," and I was like, "What?" And I felt like Crocodile Dundee, and I was like, "That's not a knife." And I pulled out mine. I was like, "This is a knife."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Get that out of here." And when he goes like this, he pushes my knife down. Now, remember I said my knife had a serrated part
Mm-hmm.
on it. So when he pushed it down, it sliced open his thumb or
Yeah.
his hand right here.
Yeah.
And it was about like a centimeter or so away from slicing the nerve
Hmm.
for him to have functionality in his thumb.
Yeah.
And I got scared. So I laughed. I was like, you'll be all right. Put some paper towels on that and then we'll stitch it up. And whatever.
Yeah.
And then it bit me in the ass because it wasn't funny. He ended up going to the medic. Medic had to stitch him up or see how severe it was. And then I had to go see the captain. And or not the captain, but our first sergeant, and explain what happened. And then pretty much I got more than just a slap on the wrist because this was like my first offense at
Mm-hmm.
all in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
But It was severe enough because if it was a centimeter more, it could have ruined his Marine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could have ended his time in the Marine Corps because it was on his right hand and it was his dominant hand and no functionality in his thumb. That just ruins it. He can't grip his rifle anymore.
Yeah.
Like so, I get that, but it scared the bejesus out of me. And then he just said you can't hit port for the next two ports,
Yeah.
which was fine because we ended up getting off our ship anyway to go to Camp Bering in UAE. So it was life changing.
Yeah.
And then it scared me because that's when we went to Camp Bering, and being a cook, you get put out with other units um because they need a cook, and that's where I was actually uh put on security detail with a grunt unit to
Hmm.
do fob runs outside the fob yes, fob runs outside the wire to feed other fobs. And I didn't know what that meant. So what it meant was I had to gear up. I had to get into the Humvee that was designated for cooks to set up. So when we got to where we were going to, the fob, I would serve them. And I
Yeah.
never understood what that was. But when I did it, it scared me because you talk about night fire. Yeah, people shoot at each other at night. Like I didn't know how real that was. I just know we trained for it and what to do. And
Yeah.
most times it didn't hit us. But man, like being at that camp, you would hear artillery, you would hear everything and constant booms going off. Somebody saying, "Oh, we were fired at," and then you're hearing their stories, and then you're trying to think about what's going to happen to you, and then you're put into that position where you're actually outside the wire and you're in danger. You're actually in danger, and then that's like, does muscle memory, does the fight or flight kick in? And I mean, I think that's where Marines are actually tested, so to speak, because that's where when shit hits the fan, what are you gonna do?
Hmm.
Are you gonna be the one that's gonna snap your sergeant back into mindset because he's shell shocked, or are you gonna be the one being snapped back in to reality of what's going on? Like stuff happens, and I mean, what I've seen and what I've been through there, that was life changing. That was
Absolutely.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not a real big person on talking about it, but also at the exact same time, like I had to have to say that changed a good portion of who I am now because I see things differently.
Hmm.
But it's also the people you keep in your circles that actually can help with your transition.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
um what I mean by the change in your transition or your transition for your better health my deployment was running to an end, and unfortunately, I wasn't stop loss and had to go back out or do anything or left there to pick up with another unit. I was actually able to come back home in a timely manner, which was fine. And then I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly when I met back up with you,
Yeah.
and that's where I believe our friendship skyrocketed because uh, at that time, my ex-wife and I, we had gotten a base, a house on base. It was a nice big house too, um,
Yeah.
and and I'm not gonna lie, it was interesting because we started talking more in the chow hall and just like odd occurrences that would happen, and it all started over Boondocks, a DVD set of Boondocks,
Yeah.
because we were talking about watching Boondocks, and he was like, "I got the set, and I was like, bet. Hey, you think I could borrow it?
Yeah.
And that was one of the cool things about the Marine Corps is if you knew somebody who had something, you could ask them, hey, can I borrow that? And they'll be like, yeah, just bring it back by this time or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, I still have your DVD set.
Yeah, that's right.
um, oh, and it was actually you had Dave Chappelle too. You had that. You had the
Yo, I still
Boondocks
have
with
that.
Dave Chappelle,
I still have that somewhere.
the Dave Chappelle one.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget it because you said, "Come over. This is my house. Come over to my house, and I'll let you." So I come over and I visit you for the very first time ever, like just outside of work, and you had a bachelor's pad, and I thought it was hilarious because you
Yeah.
had your couch, your TV, in your kitchen full of Gatorade and vodka, and it just all right, cool. You know, hey, I can see myself kicking it.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, your roommate had a cat, uh, and
Yeah.
you had just had your baby a couple of months later, a couple of months ago, and then this cat infested your house. And I'm sorry to say, it took it to the extreme
Yeah.
to where you couldn't live there. And I was like, bro, come stay with me.
Yeah.
I got you. And it was great. I had a homeboy there.
Yeah.
We played PlayStation 2 together
Yeah.
or PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3. And I mean, I still got pictures of you and me with our setup,
Yo.
sitting on the couch
Hell
with a
yeah, dude.
beanbag and just chilling.
Yeah.
Bro, like, not gonna lie, that was like the best time for me because it was, like I said, my transition.
Yeah.
I was going through a lot with my ex-wife, and you told me I don't like her, but I kept trying to do what's right and try to
Yeah.
make it work. But you were there when I needed somebody else to talk to because I couldn't talk to my ex like that.
Yeah.
But you were there to be a part of an evolving friendship, and I'm not gonna lie, it was more like a male it was a nice relationship we had. Not meaning it like that, but
Hmm.
um it was one of those moments to where I felt comfortable to let you know about what was going on, and you were very receiving of that information.
Hmm.
So like I thought that was great because that's what I needed.
Hmm.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
all right. The little man has to go to the potty room. Um, but you were, like I said, very receiving and understanding to the point to where I didn't have to worry about the stress of being in the Marine Corps anymore. Like my wife at that time was there for that, my
Yeah.
ex-wife, but not on a level to where she understood what I went through. You understood it because you've done it. And I mean that brings it to current to like why you're doing what you're doing with VOP. And I I think that's one of the coolest things is that you started to make a platform where other veterans can actually express themselves in manners to where it's not even just I'm expressing this, I'm just telling you my military life story, and
Yeah.
most people can't because they don't other people don't really understand it. Like if you were a civvy and I was telling you this, you'd just be like, oh wow, you did that. Oh, and then the number one question everybody gets asked, did you kill anybody?
Hmm.
Did you shoot anyone? I'm like, dude, you act like people really want to relive stuff like that. Like, not everybody is all gung ho to count out how many people they took out in the past. But it's one of those things to where the relationship that we built was one of the best things to ever happen because I got to express myself over and over again and understanding, not just me, but you too.
Hmm.
I swear, when our kids were together, taking baths, going to Legoland, uh,
Yeah.
like eating out, going to movies, meeting different people and friends, like just life, it got
Mhm.
to make the experience better being in the Marine Corps. And was my experience great? It was good, but I think it got better when, I'm not gonna lie, met friends like you,
Mhm.
met friends like Chris White. You know, when I met those key individuals, they made my Marine Corps experience better.
Yeah.
And that, I believe, when you join the brotherhood from boot camp, when you meet those people, till that day you get your DD 214, you go and do all your checkouts in all the other departments, supply and the admin, and places like the hospital, where you have to check out and say you're in good bill of health,
Yeah.
and it's a lie. Like, you're not in a good bill of health. Like,
Yeah.
at that time you just want to get out because you don't want to deal with the crazy monotony of everyday life there. Like, you're done. But you were so excited to go in and start this new life and meet these outstanding people, but then at the end it's like, I can't wait to get away from it.
Hmm.
And some people stay in because, hey, they're lifers and they want to. Hey, I wish I could have stayed in. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could have stayed in.
Yeah. Me too.
I really do. Um, and it's not just because of, the steady paycheck, the housing, or whatever. I like that mentality. I had a job when people were jobless out here. Oh well, when I was in the Marine Corps, when remember when the government shut down our payment for like 3 months,
Yeah.
and I had a cell phone bill, and they were all like, "Oh, don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh, I'm in the Marine Corps. The government shut down my payment,
Yeah.
but I still need a phone to communicate." They was like, "Okay, can you set up a back day payment?" I was like, "Honestly, I can't tell you when we're gonna get paid. The
Yeah.
government shut down paying us." And they were like, "Okay." 3 months later, freaking Verizon was like, "Don't worry about it. We'll just waive the fee
Yeah.
because you are in the service." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." So now you're telling me that only happens now when we have drastic life threatening viruses like COVID now, to where you can get a like, I'm not
Hmm.
trying to generalize it to that, but it's
Yeah.
just, being in the Marine Corps, you had those opportunities because they recognized what you were doing and the sacrifice you made.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's great. I think that's great. And I think people who acknowledge those who have served are even outstanding, because they know the sacrifice that they gave up versus, the sacrifice that they couldn't make,
Yeah.
but they entrusted that to those who have.
Absolutely. 100%.
So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, veterans OP to talking to the veteran that has on Vietnam vet hat, and he's still walking around with his family and saying thank you for your service. Like, I've my wife now, uh sidestep, I divorced the person I was with when I was in the Marine Corps, and
Yeah.
remarried. Okay. um my wife now, I mean, she loves talking to old people, but she thinks it's funny because I'll go and I'll walk up to a random person who's wearing a veteran hat, and I'll say thank you for your service, and then
Mhm.
they go, "Oh, thank you," and then they'll have a conversation. They'll quick, "Oh, did you serve?" And then I said, "Yes, I served in the Marine Corps." I mean, that's how I met um, Sergeant Hardley, in Thousand Trails when we went camping. I met another Marine who was a part of another unit, and he's the last surviving Marine of his unit. So every 4th of July, whenever he breaks down, because he'll break down, he'll he'll play Reveille for all 29 other um gosh, I'm sorry, I can't even think of it because I'm getting emotional. He plays Reveille 29 times for all his other comrades that passed away from his unit. Like, that's his devotion. And now he said to me, because I stay in contact with him, he was all like, so I'm gonna put you on my emergency contact list for if anything ever happens to me. And I told him, I was like, don't worry. Um, if anything drastic were to happen to you, I'll be there and I will continue your legacy of playing Reveille.
It's awesome, man.
And he broke down, he started crying, and he was all like, thank you. And I was like, hey, that's not a problem. So every time we go camping and I try to run into him, I make sure I text him and let him know our times there and like what we're gonna be doing so he can meet us up. And we end up having an MRE or something. It's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's what I love about being in the Marine Corps. That's what I love about being in the Brotherhood. Yeah, we got issues and it's hard to deal with those issues, but
Yeah.
we also make relationships with people that actually boost us up, that give us that outlet in what you're doing. Like I said, I love it. I love that you're giving other Marine soldiers, airmen, um, the availability to speak on their own behalf, to tell their experiences.
Yeah.
So in case anybody really wants to look into what is it going to be like, well, you have references, you have people who told their stories. Some of them were officers, some of them were enlisted, some of them were, uh, civilian contracts. I know a lot of people who we served with who are now civilian contracts in the same unit
Mm-hmm.
at Camp Pendleton. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Get
But
treated better. That's why.
I mean, exactly. But
All right.
yeah,
So,
like I just
uh, well, let's continue with the what transpired next. So you came back. We ended up, you know, becoming uber close, and then what
Uber.
happened after? What happened after that? You got base housing. You
Oh, all right. So when I came back, we got a brand new house. It was great. And then I was detached. I went back to CLR 17,
yeah.
and CLR 17, mind you, it was like, I'm not saying it was going downhill, but it wasn't moving anywhere else going up. But
You can say it wasn't
like
going downhill, but
I
it sure was. It was spiraling out of control.
it got to the point to where, like, you heard the rumor, oh, they're phasing out our MOS, and
They were saying that for years.
exactly. But then when we came back, it was all right. Well, we're getting a civilian contract that's going to take over CLR not CLR 17, 14 area Chow Hall, and we were like, what? And then it was the Chow Hall on Main Side that was fully taken over by
Civilian.
the
Yeah.
yeah,
By whatever that
and
company is.
right,
Can't
and
remember.
it was, that area was taken over, and then I had got switched over to um what is it, the Chow Hall in 21 area or 22 area Chow Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's through the mountains in the woods to that Chow Hall house we go.
Mm-hmm.
I was out there for pretty much my remaining time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and man, I'll only thing I can say about that was interesting.
Yeah.
I can't say it was great. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Out there in that area was nothing but grunts, but a lot of grunts like to talk a lot of crap,
Yeah.
and then they have to come in and have the food that you're serving them. So I spent the rest of my Marine Corps career, well, part of it over there until I was about to check out in the next 5 to 6 months.
Hmm.
I was actually moved back over towards CLR 17 area, and I would join the beautification squad of Camp Pendleton.
Yeah.
Um, we would uh, mow lawns all around that area. So we got to drive the big lawnmowers and do donuts in the field. Uh,
Yeah.
where I met one of the coolest sergeants and corporals, uh, Corporal Nicholas and Sergeant uh Sergeant Couliard ended up coming over there because he
Julio.
was leaving.
Yeah.
Uh, so I ended up finishing my time out over there, and man, from PT, from going back and forth to my home,
Hmm.
uh, oh, and almost destroying my knees in PT, playing ultimate frisbee and
Yeah.
running a PFT, bro. Like the Marine Corps, the Marine Corps treats their Marines who are getting out. I'm not gonna lie, like shit. They they made me feel horrible.
100%.
When I had to check in with the when I was checking out of the company office,
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Excuse me for saying, there was this one Marine, and he was of the gunny level, and he looked at me and he goes, "So you're not trying to stay in, right?" And I
Hmm.
was like, "I was trying," but he was like, "No, you're not trying. We don't want Marines like you to stay in here and pollute my core." And I looked at him and I was like, "For real? That's what you have to say?"
Hmm.
And he was like, "Do we have a problem?" And I was like, "You know what? No, 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 sir. No, Gunny. Can you please just sign so I can be on my way?" He's like, "Don't you ever try to join my corps again." And I was all like, this is my corps, my Marine Corps that I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for too. Man, I took my paper and I walked the hell out of there with my head held high, pride still intact. Cause I
Yeah.
was like, how dare you try to tell me? How,
Yeah.
you know what? I knew people who were fat bodies who achieved the rank of sergeant, which I was amazed for. And then they
Yeah.
magically had a thyroid plan or a thyroid issue,
Mm.
and to the point to where the utilities didn't fit correctly because they didn't make them in that size. Like, but you
Yeah.
gonna be upset with me.
Yeah.
So up to like my transition out was rough,
Yeah.
and it made me spiteful, but it made me be like, you know what? This unit isn't what I needed. Like, if I probably went to another unit, I would have made the best of it, or whatever the case may be. But right now, what you're giving me is not what I want, and not what I want to be a part of.
Yeah. 100%. Yes. CLR
So,
17 had a big. They had a
so
big issue and problems with treating the most of the Marines in that unit with the same type of like respect. Because it felt like if you didn't kiss ass or suck up or whatever, like they
man, you
treated you
didn't.
like shit. You were on your own for basically everything,
Yep.
except for
You
good
needed
old
help with something.
yeah. You could always count on Massar and
Good
Anderson
old
though.
who? Yeah,
That's
you liked him.
that's about it. Oh, dude, me and him got along so well because he used to talk so much shit, and then we'd play ball, and he was like, "Yo, I'm from New York, like, ball is life, yo, like, yo, bring it, yo." The first time we played ball, I swatted that fool so hard, knocked him down on the ground. I just was like looking at him, and I reached my hand up. I'm like, "Are you good?" And I helped him up, and then after that, we was just cool. He still talked shit and everything, but like, uh, he always had my back when I needed it. Like after I got my car accident, we went on that company run, and that was my first time coming back from PT, and I'm trying to keep up, but like I'm still fucking broke, and I'm in the back, and I'm falling out, and you fucking the CO, Gunny comes up to me, he's like, "You okay?" I said, "Gunny, this is my first PT back from after my car accident," and he was like, well, okay, you stop running. I said, "Well, or I was like, Master, and then Gunny Mingo comes back and he's like, "Yo, what's going on?" And he's like, "This is first PT from the car accident." And then Gunny's like, "Yo, slow down." And I was just like, "Y'all motherfuckers want me to slow down so you guys can stop running." Like that's what you want, you know? And then we had the I can't remember what his name was. We had that chief warrant officer. I didn't like him. We didn't get along at all. Because when we were in Iraq, and I had a conversation, he was the one I had a conversation with when they were like, "Yo, we need you to go to Ramadi," and I was like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "You look, we're gonna come get you before we leave." All right, sir. Good to go. I got your word. Yeah, I never heard it for that motherfucker again. Uh, and then, so he was taking the company on the run, and I remember they were running. He came back to see what was going on. Mass Sergeant Anderson knew I didn't like him because we had a conversation about it, and he came
Right.
back there before he could open his mouth. Mass Sergeant Anderson's like, "We got this. Good. Just go lead everybody else." Like before he could even get anywhere close, he was like, "We're good. We're good. Go." Because he knew I was gonna say some dumb shit because I was already pissed off. Like I still had a light duty chit and everything. Like I shouldn't be running. Like I'm broke in multiple places, and but he was the only one in the company office that could actually like I actually trusted. So yeah, good times. But everybody else in that company
Hey,
office was out for themselves, straight up out for themselves.
I didn't like anybody in that office, because, just like you said, you had to be either sleeping with somebody, cupcaking with somebody,
Yeah,
on the floor,
absolutely, hundred
hands and
percent.
knees for somebody.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
definitely, definitely.
But I mean, ever since, like I ran into you, and then I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
it kind of hurt me for a little bit when you left, because you left before me,
yeah.
and it really it hurt because I lost somebody. But then you gave me your number and you was, "We'll stay in touch, so don't worry about that."
Yeah.
And then you went, when you came back, when you got out, you bounced around. You were in like Redwood City for a long time. You were
I was in I ended up moving to I was still in the Bay Area, or not in the Bay Area, in San Diego. I was still in that area for at least uh
yeah,
6 months or something like that.
yeah, because we still hung out a little bit, but it wasn't. It was more so, we're going to the mall and we're doing this or whatever, and if
Yeah.
you want to hang out. And I was all like, "Yeah." And then I remembered I was married to someone, and I
Yeah,
couldn't really
100%.
hang out,
Yeah.
and it sucked. But
Yeah.
then when I found out you were in, when I got out, and because I moved right back home, um, to San Leandro, you were all like, "You're in Redwood City," and I was like, "What? All right, bet."
Yeah.
So we were communicating right there, and we were meeting up and going places. I never forget. I still, I'm a post a picture in your
Uh,
uh on Discord where you and me went to a rap battle concert, and
oh
we
yeah,
met
King of the Dot.
22
Yeah.
22 what was it, 22 pistols?
No. Oh shit.
Yeah, I think it was 100 pistols or
hu-
something.
like 100 bullets, 100 clips, something like that. I don't
100
remember.
or something like that.
I don't remember
But we
him.
took a picture with him.
Yeah.
But I remember how we were dressed in the
Yo,
picture we took.
bro,
Oh, bro,
I dress completely different. Oh
yeah,
boy,
you did.
dude.
Yeah, you did.
Oh boy. Yeah, and that's
Look,
when I met.
nasty Doug.
Yo, that's when I met. I don't fucking remember his name. I can't remember his name now, but yeah, King. Yeah, we went to King of the Dot. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Oakland. Um,
hmm
did I still watch King of the Dot every once in a while? Shit's great though. Shit's great for sure.
And then, I mean, that's when our life started picking up. We started going to Stockton or Modesto Con, and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
dressed up
Army of
as
Two.
Army of Two. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
Fucking,
I got
I
my
love that.
mask right back there.
I see it in the top corner in the
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
it's one of my channel point redeems.
Oh,
I put it on when I play games.
oh gosh, I should go and get mine and put it on so we can play.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, like we did crazy stuff like that. We hung out a lot more. Then we went to school together.
hell yeah.
Uh, expressions. I was dealing. I'm not gonna lie. After the Marine Corps, after I getting out, uh, I bounced back and forth from different jobs and trying to find my niche. Something that I really loved or enjoyed doing, because cooking wasn't it. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I wanted to create my own restaurant and have my name on a building saying
Yeah,
"Come on in," you know, the Marine Corps kind of just it became a job instead of a hobby. When it was a hobby, it was fun. It was exciting.
they
When it
kind
was a
of
job, it was
the Marine Corps takes the passion out of it because
yeah,
it's
because
like
it's just plain.
follow this piece of paper. Don't and don't deviate from it. Whatever. I didn't give a shit. I still cooked however I wanted to. Uh, and I cooked. I think that's why you hear a lot of stories about me in the chow halls because like I made food taste good. I didn't just
Yeah,
like
people didn't like that.
well they didn't like it. They didn't like the fact that they were just getting outdone. And because I just didn't give a
Yeah.
shit. Like they didn't like the fact that like like the regiment CO or the base generals when they would come to the chow hall they would ask me to cook their food. Like they didn't like that because like who's this guy? Is like you only been in 3 years. Why are they asking for you? I've been in here 9, 10 years. And like nobody knows my name. Give a shit. Yeah,
See,
they
that's what
suck the
I'm
passion
talking
out of it.
about.
Yeah,
He said, "I don't give a shit."
yeah. Because I make food taste good. I didn't make it to like. I mean, I would get the job done, but like people don't want. That's why the chow halls get shitty reputations because they just
Yeah,
everything's fucking bland. Everything is the same.
the Requar. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's like I'm
you
not
can't
putting anything in
just.
there that somebody's allergic to. It's not like I'm putting peanuts in everything or fucking whatever. Uh,
What is the saying? You can add to it, but you can't take from it.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
what they're talking about is just salt, but it'd be like you can add a shit ton of garlic
Yeah,
powder.
absolutely. But yeah, the Marine Corps kind of takes passion out of a lot of stuff. So I feel you.
Yeah, and for me, that was a big thing. So when I got out, like I said, I went from working for a roofing company to working for a traffic light assembly place. I worked for America's Tires.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Now the funny thing with all these jobs is they're manual labor jobs.
yeah,
And then I was given a opportunity to become a supervisor for UPS at the Oakland airport. And man, did I enjoy working there until we hired you. Boy, I tell you that ruined it for me because man, uh UPS is great and it was great. It was
yeah.
good. And then
I don't know if I would say
you
great.
said, "Oh, whoa." It was it was doable.
Yeah.
You kind of made your own niche, and I did. And then you were all like, "Huh, I'll work for a peak season. It'd be easy. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do." And then
True story.
you got a job,
Right.
and then you did great. They loved you. And
Yeah.
then one day I saw your paycheck.
It's true. You got to know your worth. You got to know
Wasn't
your
so
worth.
great after that. No, see,
True.
I've been there longer,
I know.
and you made more than me.
It's true.
Oh, that I was livid. I was livid.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it wasn't hilarious because I knew how you was gonna react, and you reacted well when they left you out there on the
On Christmas?
out on the on Christmas.
I told that
They
story the other
left
day.
you. Oh my gosh.
Bruh.
And then had the audacity.
With Amy.
And then Amy, she had the audacity to just be like, "Oh, well, I needed to go to the bathroom, so,"
Mm-hmm.
and then left you.
Yeah.
Didn't come back to get you. And then when everybody was eating, they're all like, "Where's Danny or James?" And you're soaking wet, upset,
I was fucking
and he's like,
pissed.
"Forget it. I don't want to eat anything." And you just fucking dropped your stuff off and you signed out and you walked the hell out. I don't even think you signed out
I did. Well, no,
that day.
I finished my paperwork. Mike was in there. I said, "Here's my paperwork." I was like, "Am I good to go?" He's like, don't." He's like, "Do you want some food?" I said, I looked around. I was like, "It's all gone." And they're like, "We saved you a plate." I said, "Well, one, you put it in that microwave. When was the last time that microwave was clean? Two, how the fuck do you know what I want to eat? And three, how the fuck do I know you washed your hands beforehand?" I was like, "No, I'm good."
Right.
And he like looked at my paperwork and he was like, "Well, it's good. It's good, you know." And this is what was a great part. He was like, "Well, we're gonna do a gift exchange," and I said, "Well," and it was just quiet as fuck in there because everybody was like looking at me, and I said, "Well, none of you asked me, but I'm Jewish," and and everybody just kind of like you could just feel everybody like staring.
The tension was so hard. Like I swear, it was like it was so suffocating. It was like frozen peanut butter. Like
Yeah,
as soon as he said that,
and I was
but
like, "I'm like, am I good to go? Can I leave?" And
yeah,
I walked out, and I just was like, "Happy Hanukkah," and I fucking walked out. And then you went to Costco to get pizza, and you walk in, and you were like, "You're leaving?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm done." Uh, I just walked out. I walked through the security gate, and I just fucking dipped.
they had so many things to ask me when I got
Yeah,
there.
that shit was fucking
They was
hilarious.
like, "Bro, hey, does he really celebrate Christmas?" I was like, "No, he don't."
Yeah,
They're all like, "Oh,
yeah, yeah. I quit the job.
tell him sorry."
No,
He sure
they
did.
excuse me. They let me go right after that because they had a policy. Everybody had to be there. You had to be there every single day. There every single day. And then if you were there every day, you get certain number of drawings into a vacation.
Yep,
And whoever they pull out, they get the vacation.
a whole week.
This lady, this lady in the middle of peak season was like, I'm taking these 2 days off," and she's like, "I'm gonna go see my boyfriend who's in jail," and they let her take it off, and then she ended up fucking winning the vacation. And I brought it up. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? I thought you said us as supervisors couldn't take any time off, and if we did, we were fired. That's exactly what you guys said." She took the time off and then one extra time off, and you guys are cool with that? I was like, "All right. I have a feeling I'm getting real sick soon." So I took a week off of sick days. Called in I called in like they were like, "Yo, if you're not going to be here, call in as soon as possible." So I called in like 40 minutes before I was supposed to be to work. Like, I'm not going to make it. And I remember like I took a week off, and then I was like, I don't feel like going in, and then uh can't remember whoever the supervisor guy is called me, the guy with the glasses.
Mike Kaloka.
No, not Mike, the other guy.
Or no, Ian.
No, the guy in the office. He wasn't the supervisor. He was like the oh
Manager.
yeah Joe Joe
Joe Bueno.
yeah I remember he didn't even or he called me in the morning and was like, no, he didn't even call me. He told you to get my badge.
Yep, I remember that.
And that's how I found out I was fired. Was he
I
told
was
you to
like,
get a
hey, bro,
badge?
I think I need your badge. Yeah, because that was when I was staying with you
Yeah,
in downtown Oakland.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Good times, good
That's
times.
yeah. That's how I found out I was fired. Is they didn't even contact me. They just had you get my badge. I'm like, all right,
Yeah. I guess I'm not going back there.
yeah, whatever works for me.
Damn.
Oh
And I'm still there at UPS.
yeah, good time.
So great. But no, I just when it comes to anybody, and I'm anybody who has ever served, anybody who uh thought about serving, it's a it's a life choice that you have to be willing to make for yourself, knowing that you're sacrificing a good portion of your life. Because I will physically say this: the Marine Corps has added 15 years to my body for the amount of time that I served.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, yeah, I may be looking good for being in my early 30s, but my body my body feels like it's in its late 50s, early 60s. Just
My mind is, you know,
but my
but my
body.
body.
Like that's just what it is, though.
Yeah,
And I'm not. Will I do it again? Yes, I
in a heartbeat.
will, if I could. And I mean, I have no regrets because I believe the choices that I've made then put me on the right path of where I'm at now.
100%. Yeah,
And yes, like that also goes with my ex-wife, because I'm a firm believer like that there, as painful as it is, there are people placed here to help build your character, and no matter what it is, even if they're here for multiple seasons,
hmm
be here for a couple of weeks or a month. But those people who are in your life, they're there for a reason, and that's to build on something, on who you are. Was I with this person for 9 years? Yes. I've gotten to a point to where I forgot who I was, but I had friends around me who constantly ridiculed me for going on long tangents of vacations from talking to them. Danny, uh, but also bringing me back and actually understanding that, you know, that person was placed there for me to learn who I really am, so I can see who I really am.
yeah,
Because somebody's always going to try to change who you are, but you got to remember, you got to stay true to who you are, to yourself, and remember why. Like, I'm a goofy person, but when I become serious, it's like, whoa, that's not Alex. That's I don't know who that is. Who are you trying to be? And I think that's one of the cool things that complimented me was, you're a serious person, but your personality is goofy as hell, just like mine. But that's a couple drinks in, you know. But my time in the Marine Corps, my marriage, and finding out what I wanted to do with my life and my kids, I'm not gonna lie. As much as I as much as I get annoyed by them, I love them to death. But I see myself, and then I see the type of person, the structure that I have at the Marine Corps, that due diligence, that determination to make sure my son is speaking great English. My my other son, even though he's with his mother, like, hey, we may be at a distance, but I'm your dad and I love you. Like, all these things, yes, I was raised with knowing and having, but the Marine Corps just gave me that structure and stability and that friendship with other people in my life that help build on who I am, which actually pours out not just from me, but to my kids, and then from them going. So when my son says that, I'm gonna look at him and I'll say, "Are you sure that's because I did it?" And if he could look me in the eye and say, "Yes, I want to make a change," then you know what? I support you. And I support you if you don't want to go. But know that you have the support. And most people don't have that. Some people get shunned for it. But having people in the right places, like I said, Danny, you are a major important person in my life. And through my marriage, my divorce in my marriage, to being the best man at my new marriage with my wife now, like, friendships built like that in the Marines or in any service, like, that's hard to come by. And when you find it, you hold on to it. And I'm happy. Like I said, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share my experience, not just with you, but with your viewers, because it shows you can be light, you can be dark, you can be shit, pitch black. You're my brother. And to this day, you will always be my brother. And I think that's one of the best parts about the military, is because you make those bonds. And yeah, to me, that makes me feel special to be a part of this moment, to share a day with you on the becoming of a new year,
Absolutely.
New Year's Eve,
It,
to be on VOP Spotlight, Veteran Spotlight. Like, that's dope, bro. To share my experiences, my my interesting life with you and your viewers.
yeah,
So
appreciate it,
I'm
man.
trying my
Yeah.
hardest not to get too emotional.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I couldn't think of a better way to end the year uh, than have you on than to have you on the spotlight. You know,
That's what I'm talking about.
I
But other than that, like I said, man, I don't have any other to talk about, because like for me, history was short and sweet,
yeah.
but impactful. And I mean, it's what I was presenting after the Marine Corps. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I held on possibly could the structure of the Marine Corps and how what they taught me,
Yeah.
and I didn't break the habit of calling uh civilians until like 2 years after,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years after, because I just looked at everybody as, oh, you're nasty, you're a nasty civilian.
Yeah.
And then I started turning into a civilian, and I was like, hell yeah. Great, but it felt weird. Felt weird. But no, I mean, deployment,
Yeah.
meeting you, getting back, life choices, figuring out who I am again.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, one of the best things is having support and having you guys there. So
So if you could look
my
back,
Marine Corps,
if you could look
go
back and one like the best moment during your career, what would that
ha
be?
ha ha. uh,
Like,
uh,
what's the one moment where you look back and you're like you smile every time? Like that's your happy moment.
my happy moment is when I was able to show up a sergeant dead to his face and be right. All right, so we were, at the 22 area chow hall, and we were cooking. We were doing like a barbecue chicken or something. We had the grills out back, so we were carting everything in.
Yeah.
And at my time, I had a sergeant there who was, or a staff sergeant, um, who was very aggressive. And what I mean by very aggressive, like, no, we can handle this in a reefer type aggressive. Um, he was trying to call me out on a recipe, and to the point to where he was like, "So when you were seasoning the chicken, what did you add to the chicken?" And I was all like, "The standard." And he was like, "What's the standard?" It's like the standard on the red claw. It says this amount of salt with this amount of pepper and garlic, and then we add the barbecue as we're grilling. And
Mhm.
then he goes, "But that's not what you did." And I was like, "No, that is exactly what I did." "Well, why do we have lemon pepper in here?" And I was all like, "I didn't add lemon pepper. I know exactly what I did to my batch. What batch did you pull out?" And he was very aggressive. Like, I think they were trying to find something wrong with me because they wanted to do something. And I'll never forget it, because as soon as I pulled out my batches of everything that I've had, because I marked. So when you're putting stuff in the reefer, you just put foil over it, saran wrap and foil, and then you put it in the refrigerator. Now, what I got when uh, I created a habit of taking the markers, the Sharpies that we had,
Mhm.
and I would put my initial on the bottom right hand corner of the foil.
Hmm.
So I know I did that,
Y'all
because
are
you have to
nasty
pull
in
the
22 area then.
no.
You're supposed to put a little label on it that says what's in there, and the date and time that you put it in there.
No, we did that, but I put my
That's what,
initials on the bottom.
and you're supposed to initial it of who put it in there. So if y'all were doing that, y'all nasty as fuck.
Ooh, we hella nasty then. But hey, oops. Um, but I remember because he came in and he was all like, "Who the hell did this then?" And then I looked at him and I told him, I was like, "You know what, Staff Sergeant? If you really want to pin something on me, pin it on me, because I know what I did. I created this, and this has my initials on it, because this is what we had to do, right?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "So Williams, what you're saying is you don't know who did it, so you weren't in the chow hall, the galley." I was all like, "Last time I checked, Staff Sergeant, I wasn't the NCO that was in charge of the chow hall." I was
Mhm.
like, "That's what we have, corporals and sergeants and you. And if I'm not mistaken, Staff Sergeant, you were the Staff Sergeant who was on duty that day, because you sent all your sergeants and corporals away." And he looks at me and then he goes, "Do we have a problem, Williams?" And I finally just had it up. I was like, "I guess we do, Staff Sergeant. I guess we do." And
Yeah.
then he was like, "Well, we could go and handle this another way." And I was all like, "No, why don't we get Gunny?" And I believe it was Gunny, uh, not Gunny Domingo, uh, Gunny Glover.
Gunny Glover. Oh
Gunny
my god.
Glover.
Y'all ain't got thought about
She
Gunny Glover in like a decade.
she came down, bro,
Oh.
and she was because I guess we were having some event over, and she came over and she goes, "Williams, are you sure?" She kept asking me, "Are you sure he was the staff NCO that was in charge?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Gunner Sergeant, I'm pretty sure, because it's not too many other gunny staff sergeants like him in this building."
Yeah.
And so she goes, "Okay, let's go review it.
Yeah.
Williams, if you're wrong, then we're gonna have to do a bigger write up, and you're gonna be on a lot of duty." And I was like, "But if I'm right, I want a verbal apology in front of everybody from this staff sergeant."
Yeah.
I was right.
Yeah.
So we got everybody in there for that the
Yeah.
evening chow, because that's what we were making the food for. He had to open the door, get everybody in line,
Yeah.
and then pull me out and say, "This is gonna be something I've never done before, but uh, can we get Lance Corporal Williams
Yeah.
to the front?" And I was like, "Okay." And then he goes, "Lance Corporal Williams, I just wanted to apologize for the false accusation of the requirements for
Hell
the
yeah.
chicken that you presented.
Yeah.
I was the staff sergeant on call, and I just wanted to apologize, not just to you, but to everybody else that was around for me accusing you of doing said. And I was all like, "Good to go, staff sergeant."
Yeah.
Like that was just the only moment. When I turned around and I walked back into the galley, I did like this. I was like,
Yeah.
who's your boss? And I'm overly juiced.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he didn't question me after that. But that was my hell yeah moment.
Yo, that's what's up.
My yeah.
That's
I
great.
remember I got his face. I have to show you a picture of him. He on Facebook. He's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Uh,
Anything else?
my I'll share a story between us. So the moment I knew you were cool as fuck, and we're at field mess, and uh, I can't remember specifically what we were doing, but shit, God, who was it? Can't remember if it was a staff sergeant. I don't know. They were like, "Look, go check." I just came back. This was like when I still had just come back from Iraq, and they were like, "Go
Right.
and check." We were doing like a gear checker. I don't know, some shit like that. And they're like, "Go check. Go run down the list. You know what to do." It was me and Morgan, and
Morgan.
Morgan, yeah, Morgan was checking some people's stuff, and I didn't know, like, you and I really had like one or two conversations before this. I said I was checking for sappy plates because everybody had their flak jackets and sappy plates, and I was like, "Do you have your sappy plates in?" They're like, "Yeah." Like everybody's standing in the front. I was like, "Do you have your sappy plates in?" Like, "Yeah." So you're not lying to me, are you? He said, "No." I'm like, "All right." I took a step back and I walked and I just kicked you as hard as I could in the chest, and you took like two or three steps back, and then oh boy, howdy, did I fucking make contact with sappy plates. And I was like, cool. I was like, all right, who's next? And people were like, I have to go get my sappy plates. Like, all right, you said you had them. I forgot them. They're in my car. Well, go get them. And from
Right.
that moment on, I was like, yo, fucking G for sure, dude.
You Spartan kicked me in the chest.
Yeah, that's right. That's when we barely first knew each other. Like I said, I did not give a fuck at that point, because people would come up and just like bang their fist and like tap on it and stuff like that. I'm like, no, like, yo, if you're lying to me, that's not my problem. Like, I asked you, you said yes. Okay, this is how we figure out if you have sappy plates or not. Whatever. What are you gonna do? NJP me? Whatever. I don't care.
Just Spartan kicked me in the chest to make sure.
Absolutely. I was like, yo. And right after that moment, I was like, yo, this guy's fucking, yo, this guy's dope. Yeah. So that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite like working like at work type memories.
Bro, that's uh yeah, I remember that. I was pissed after that.
It's
I
fuck-
was hella pissed.
yeah, I bet.
I was trying to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
whatever.
that.
A lot of people tried
Cause
to.
you nobody succeeds. Nobody
No,
succeeds.
no. The UCMJ, you're pretty good. But yeah, yeah. It's one of my favorite moments between the two of us working.
Man.
Yeah.
The let's see. Moment with you. Hmm. I would have to be that one moment when we were in and they were trying to ask everybody. They were trying to ask everybody to do a vehicle inspection. And you stand up and you go, "Oh, so I don't have to be here because I don't have a vehicle."
Yeah, bruh.
You walk out. Wait,
Yeah,
mid conversation, you
yeah,
seriously get up and walk the smooth fuck out.
yeah. That's
And then we're all like, how did he just do that?
Yo, OFP. If you walk around and you think you're the shit and you're on your own program, if you're on your own fucking program, like, most times people are like, that's just a headache. And people knew me because, like, yo, if you give me shit, yo, okay, cool. We'll do vehicle inspections, but I'm going to be right next to you and we're going to do everything by the book. We'll be here for hours per vehicle. We've got to check the oil. We've got to check, make sure the light works. If the lights are too dirty, they need to be cleaned. Like, we'll go through every single thing, and we'll take a 15-minute vehicle inspection and turn it into an hour plus. That's why they didn't like me doing room inspections either. Because most of the time I'd come in and I'd be like, yo, it smells nice in here. I don't see any trash. It looks clean. I'm not going to go through your dressers, whatever. I didn't live in the barracks either. So when they called me there, I was like, okay. And then when people would start giving me shit, they could start giving me shit about it. I'm like, yo, you do not want to do this right now. Like, we'll fucking be here till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll find something to fucking nitpick. That's in the fucking rules and regulations. I will find something, and we will be here all night long. All night long.
See, I found out that if you didn't live in the barracks, they couldn't put you on barracks duty. They would put you on the company duty.
Yeah, I had both. I didn't care. It didn't really matter. I only had duty when it was like uber important. Like we had one dude who was on.
They didn't want you to meet up with somebody.
Oh boy. That happened when I was in Iraq. Condoleezza Rice showed up and we were doing security for her. And she was walking around talking to people. And I had this captain come up to me and he said, he was like, look, if she asks you a question, you just say yes or no. That's it. Sir, permission to speak freely. He said, no. Nope. I'm going to be standing right here. If she asks, even if it doesn't make sense, you just say either yes and or no. Good to go, sir. She walked up and she was like, oh, hi, how are you doing? Yes, ma'am. And are you enjoying it out here? Yes, ma'am. She's like, oh, you have a nice day. And just fucking walked away. But I remember one of the times I had barracks duty. They it was because we had a dude who drank. Like, he got in trouble for drinking because he drank all the time. He'd show up to work drunk. He'd always be drinking. He just reeked of alcohol, and he didn't shower either. And he was Sutton's old roommate. And Sutton stank too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, Sutton was stinky too.
That makes sense.
And we ended up like, he left the barracks because he was on watch. His room was next to the duty hut, and he was like, "I'm gonna go take a shower." Like, okay, cool. And like a half an hour went by. This motherfucker's still in the shower. Like, I went and toured the barracks and everything, and I came back, and I was like, I hear it. I hear the shower still on. And I was on duty with Sergeant Ballard, and I was like, yo, Sergeant Ballard, like, motherfucker's still in the shower. He's like, what? I said, he said he was going to take a shower, and then I went around to do a barracks check. Still in the shower. So he's like, well, go get him out, see what's going on. I went in there, I opened the door. I went and I knocked on the shower door, or on the door to the bathroom. No answer. I knock on it. I open it up. I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Yo, you right in there? No answer. So I'm like, yo, worst case scenario. That's what I'm thinking. I open the door, I fucking fling the shower curtain open. I'm motherfucker gone. Empty. And I walk back outside. I walk in there and I'm angry at this point. Like, I feel like Clerks, like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Like, I shouldn't even be here at the barracks. I don't live here. I walk in, I'm like, yo, Sergeant Ballard. He's like, what's up? I was like, yo, don't be mad. He's gone. He's like, what? I said, he's gone. He is not in his room. He's not in the shower. He's not in the closet, under the beds, nothing. He's gone. He runs outside. and and he runs outside and runs into the room and starts looking. Like I fucking missed him in the room, like a human being. Like I fucking missed him looking around the room. He's searching through everywhere. He comes out, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get fucking NJP'd for this. I'm gonna get NJP'd for this. What the fuck? He comes outside. He comes up to me and he's like, "Where did he go?" Sergeant, I have no idea. Him and I aren't friends. I did what you told me. I walked around the barracks. You know, look, I don't fucking know. And we're sitting there, and he's like, "Yo, I don't want to have to call. I don't want to have to call the company or the regiment headquarters. I don't want to have to call them. I don't want to have to call the company." He's like, "What do we do?" And I look over. You know how they have that hill that's from where the barracks is, and you can see it over there.
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, Sergeant Ballard, there he is. He's walking from that hill back this way. He's wearing sweats, gray sweatpants, gray sweater, and he gets ready to like. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker." And I grabbed him, and he like looked at me. He said, "Sergeant Ballard, yo, just let him come back. Deal with it then." And he looked at me like when I had grabbed him, like he looked me up and down, and I was like, "Yo, don't like, let me stop you there.
Don't do that.
Don't do that." Like, yo, I don't give a shit at this point. Like, I'm on my way out. Like, I've got months left. Don't don't look at me like that, you know. And so he gets there, and then it's so fucking funny. You can see that he, because that direction is the PX. That way, that's where like that general direction was. And he comes up, and it's hot outside, and this fool's in sweatpants and a sweatshirt, or like a zip up hoodie, and so he's like, he grabbed him, and he was like, "Yo, where have you been?" And you could see like in his sleeve pocket is like a giant bulge, and he kind of like looks, and he's like, "Take your sweater off." And he kind of like hesitates, and then he takes it off, and he's got a bottle of like Jack Daniels. Like he thought he could hide it in his sweater, and
Wow.
yeah, and he confiscated it, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Sergeant Ballard, tell him to take his sweatpants off." And because he was too calm for being like, "Yo, you just busted me for having it." Yo, he takes his sweatpants off, and he's got like bottles like taped to his body, like his legs and shit like that. And yo, he takes his sweatpants off, and mind you, this is in front of the barracks. You know, he's got green skivvy shorts on, and he's got bottles, and so he starts taking them off and everything, all the bottles and stuff. And I was like, uh, uh, he started like getting very like angry, and Sergeant Ballard did, and so then we ended up taking him into the room, and it was like, "Yo, I don't want to do this, but you needed to get naked. We got to make sure that you don't have anything on you. You're an alcoholic. You're in this watch because you're an alcoholic." Yo, as sure as shit, he took his shirt off, and he had another bottle taped onto him. And at this point, like, all right, you know, get dressed. At this point, Sergeant Ballard is just furious. Like, you know, as a black dude, you could see his face turn red as fuck. And you know, he grabs him and like starts shaking him and puts him up against the wall. And you can see this kid's scared. He has a problem, and this is not how it's supposed to. You know, like this is not how is going to fix it. He legit has an alcoholic problem, and he needs help. He doesn't need to get his ass whooped. And you know, I grab him at this point. Like I don't just lightly grab him. You know, I grab his arm and I pull it, and he just looked at me, and I said, "Look, you don't want to throw your career away for this kid. Like, look, just go to the duty hut. Let me talk to him, and you know, you can just you can decide what further steps you want to take, but don't put your hands on this kid." Straight up. Like I'm saving you, and I'm saving myself a headache, because if you touch this kid, now it's my problem, because you'll kick the shit out of this kid. Then I'm gonna have to kick the shit out of you and say it was self defense. And so we go back to the duty hut and everything, and I sat down and talked to him, and I said, "Look, you know, you got a problem. But you doing shit like this, you're putting other people's careers on the line. I was like, this motherfucker's been in for like 9 years. He was about ready to throw it away because he cares too much about Marines. He was going to throw it away because he wants to help you, but he doesn't know how because he was raised, old school Marine Corps. You got a problem like that, you get the shit kicked out of you till that problem goes away. And
Right.
I was like, look, just stay in here. Like, don't go nowhere. Because look, I'm getting out. I have no problem kicking the shit out of you, but this is your warning. Because I'm too tired for this shit. Like my can't like I was still rocking my Iraq camis. Like my shit, like I don't even have a digi pattern on most of my camis. Like I don't give a fuck.
He
Like,
said salty.
yeah, absolutely. Like I don't care at this point. Stay in your room. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Do you fucking beat your dick? I don't care. But don't leave this room. If I'll come check on you like once an hour. You've got water in here. I'll take you to the chow hall. You can get your food. I will watch you eat your food. You put your tray away, and I'll walk you back over here. But that's it. And they ended up they made him like a suicide watch type thing. They made him sleep in the common area. They put a bed in there, and that they left him in there. But I remember that full like Sergeant Ballard. After that, we did McMap. Like 2 or 3 weeks later than that, and I remember, I just fucking went at it with Andrasic, and that fool put me to sleep, and I woke up angry, and we were sitting there, and then Sergeant Ballard thought this was his opportunity to, like this was his opportunity to get some revenge, like I put my hands on him, so he was like. We were sitting there talking, and I was feeling good. It was like a half an hour after, like everybody was grappling, so I took a break. And, we always used to, do you want to call somebody out? He called me out. And I said, Sergeant Ballard, I don't recommend this. Because, I don't care about people's feelings. Especially if we're doing McMap. Let me save you embarrassment. I don't recommend this.
Right.
And he took his blouse off and just ignored me and just walked in. And I looked over to Andrasic, and he like had this little grin on his face, and he was like, "Go ahead." I said, "Cool." I say, because we would always ask, "You want to start standing up or on the ground?" And I asked him, Sergeant Ballard, like, we didn't have blouses on, so no rank. I was like, "Yo, you want to do stand up or on the ground?" I didn't even finish my sentence, and this fool tried to shoot in on me. So he shot in on me. Humble brag, I was undefeated wrestling my senior year in high school until I broke my collarbone. So shooting in like, you're not as good as me. Promise, bet. And I've been doing McMap like I was
Guaranteed. Not as good as me.
guaranteed, and because I don't think you've ever met Sergeant Grace. But he helped Tito Ortiz with the Ken Shamrock fights. He's the one who got me into McMap, and later got me into doing McMap instructing.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, Sergeant Grace looked like a street shark, and he would,
Shark,
yeah, he would be like, if anybody can break past my guard. You can get the next couple days off when we would do PT. And that's what we would do for PT. We'd roll out the mats, and we'd spend the next 45 minutes rotating, trying to break his guard. That was it. And nobody ever did it. And so I told him, he shot in on me, and I was sitting here thinking like, do I want to embarrass him? Like, instantly that's what went through my head. Cool dude. But you know how it is, Marine Corps, you get egos, And so he shot in, I sprawled, landed right on top of him, and I was like, do I want to embarrass this guy? Absolutely. I gave him a warning, And I initially went for a guillotine, and I squeezed tight enough to he knows, like he knows he fucked up. And he kind of like locked up. And then I sprawled around him, I got the hooks in. I took his back, and I choked him out. He tapped out, and I let him go. And he was mad. He was fucking pissed. He got up and was like, "Yo, let's go again." And he put his hands up, and I was like, and that was my instant reaction. Was like, "Yo, I mean, I see your hands up. We're fighting. You're pissed off, And Drasic came up and was like, kind of like, all right, yeah, okay, we're good. Like, let's rotate again. And I remember, I remember,
Saved him.
yeah, I remember Ballard after that, Sergeant Ballard. We ended up being chasers together, and that's how. And so, like, we were going through a chaser class, and we were grappling, and we just kind of like, he's like, all right, whoever was instructing it was like, all right, does anybody want to grapple anybody? And I just looked at him like, round two, like, and he kind of he smiled at me because he knew what was, like as soon as he was like, all right, does anybody want to pair up?
He knew it was coming.
Yeah, he's like, does anybody want to pair up? And we just kind of like, I looked at him like right away, like, do you want to be embarrassed in another company type thing, And he kind of smiled at me, and yeah, he smiled at me, and I smiled back, and then these other two dudes went at it and stuff, and then we rotated and stuff, and we never went at it again. But I remember we were at the PX, and we were legit talking about grappling and stuff like that, and he started asking questions, and I was like, look, I've been fighting my entire life, like it comes natural to me, and all this type of stuff, and we're talking, and I was kind of critiquing, like him, what he was doing when we were grappling. And then we went through chaser course and everything, and we were in the parking lot, and there comes she was not bad. She made a lot of stupid. Oh, here comes O'Connor. Made a lot of dumb choices, Cool.
Wow.
Decent Marine fucking made some dumbass choices. Dumbass choice. And I told her not to. I said, look, whatever you're doing, you're deserting. Like, legit. You're gone for over a month. You're telling gunnies to go fuck themselves. Like, you can't do this. Like, you're gonna throw your life away. You're 20 years old, and you're trying to get kicked out of the Marine Corps. Like, 2 years. Like, you've been in 2 years already. 2 more years. It's easy. Shut the fuck up. That's it. That's all you gotta do is shut the fuck up. Somebody yells at you, shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, like, all this shit is temporary. All the dumb shit is temporary. And she had gone UA. This was her 3rd time going UA. She was gone for like 40 days. No, sorry, excuse me. She was a deserter at that point. She had been gone for like 40 days. Sergeant Ballard saw her and just fucking tackled her to the ground. And yeah, this big ass dude from fucking MP company comes up and grabs him by the waist and picks just picks him up. And I looked at this dude and I was like, fuck, like I don't want to fuck with this guy. Like
Damn.
And I grab her and I said, look, you need to come with us right now. And she's like, look, I'm just picking up a couple things and I'm turning myself in. I said, legally, I can't let you go. I can't. I'm sorry. You and I are somewhat cool. We've had a lot of deep conversations, but I'm sorry. You fucked up, and these are your consequences. You fucked around, and you're about to find out. Sergeant Ballard didn't handle it the right way, but he handled it in a way where we have the legal authority to do it. Because you're a flight risk. And this mass sergeant comes up and is like, he touches me, and I did that thing where, like, I was like, yo, did you just put your hands on me? Like, is that what just happened?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't just touch me. Oh,
And
he did? Okay.
And he was like, yo, you need to let that Marine go. And she kind of jerked away from that point and then ran away. And when things calmed down and stuff, I was like, I pulled, as soon as he did that, I said, Master Sergeant, we're chasers. That's a Marine who's that's a deserter right there who's been gone for over 40 days that we've been looking for. And as soon as that happened, that sergeant who picked up Sergeant Ballard, like, kind of like let him go and was like, you could see on his face, like, oh shit, I fucked up. Like I thought I was doing the right thing, which he did. You know, he was trying to do the right thing, but he was like, "Oh shit, I should have
He
said
didn't know the
something."
cert
Yeah,
the yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, I work for MP company, blah blah blah." I said, "Okay, good to go." And I opened up my blouse. I had my notepad and I had a pen, and I said, "Good to go, Master Sergeant." I said, "I need your name, blah, you know, your information, what unit you work for," and I start covering my ass at this point. And
Right.
I'm sitting here, and I looked at Sergeant Ballard, and I have a very bad tendency of this. I took over the situation. I was like, Sergeant Ballard, call Gunny Mingo right now. Tell him everything that's going on. That we ran into O'Connor, we had her, Master Sergeant, blah blah blah, instructed us to stop and um, physically
Apprehended me.
hap- physically was involved in this situation because he put his hands on me, and even if it wasn't, you know, like whatever, like I'm fucking pissed at this point because
Right.
now I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm out of the chow hall. I'm fucking I'm Lance Corporal fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter. You know, like I feel great right now, and and so he calls him, and I'm getting his information and stuff like that, and he was like at this the way I was handling it, he was like he was answering all my questions, doing all this stuff, and then he like looked down and was like, "Yo, why am I answering questions to a Lance Corporal?" Like, you know, like, and he was like, "You said you're calling your gunnery sergeant. I'll wait to talk to him." I said, "Good to go, Master Sergeant. I have enough information right here to where I feel comfortable talking to my CO." Uh,
Right.
and I put my book, then I started. I went up to that sergeant, and I was like, I do need your information as well. And I was a lot nicer with him. I was like, I understand you thought you were doing the right thing, but you know, my billet outranks your outweighs your rank. I'm sorry, it does. And I wrote his information down, and then I was like, you know, like, and then I even annotated that, you know, like, you were trying to do the right thing, even at like, because as soon as we explained the situation, you stopped. You tried to do the right thing, you just didn't know what was going on, and uh, you know, Gunny Mingo got there. Then I had to de-escalate that situation, because you know, Gunny Mingo's chill as fuck, until you start being a fucking asshole, and then Gunny Mingo's like, when Gunny Mingo gets angry, like, yo, he doesn't like a switch. You flip a switch, and Gunny Mingo just fucking loses it. And Gunny Mingo was like, "I'm already over 20 years. I don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do? They're just gonna be like, you need to retire. That's it. They're not gonna do any. They're not gonna dishonorable discharge him if he was to punch this guy in the face." And so I got the sergeant's information, and then Gunny Mingo and this master sergeant are talking to each other, and all I heard was Gunny Mingo say, "I don't give a fuck." And I turned around and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard him say fuck in anger. Like, uh, and I turn and I look, and then there's Gunny Glover. They were at lunch together, so Gunny Glover showed up, or they were there, uh, and um, so we, um, sorry, uh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so Gunny Glover is like getting in this guy, or Gunny Mingo's getting in this guy's face, and you know, I walk up and I'm like, "Yo, excuse me, Gunnery Sergeant," you know, like as I put my hand on his chest, and a little forceful, you know, and he kind of like looks at me, and I give him that look like, "Yo, calm the fuck down," you know, and because we were cool after Stewart went to the brig, him and I had a conversation, and
Yes.
we were cool after that.
I'm sorry. I just didn't like that dude.
Yeah, I didn't like him either. And you know, like we got all his information, gave it to the CO and everything, and all that stuff. But yes, Sergeant Couillard was dope as fuck.
What was
I
the
mean, Sergeant Ballard was cool as fuck.
what was the well, he was a staff sergeant, then became gunny for CLR 17, but
Mm.
his wife was a gunny already.
Gunny
He
Glover
was hella cool. No, it wasn't. What
was
wasn't
Staff
Gunny
Sergeant Glover,
Glover?
black dude, right?
Yeah, with the he always repped North Carolina.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
it
He
was
was Staff
him.
Sergeant Glover, and he became Gunny Glover. It was both Gunny Glovers.
Oh damn,
Yeah,
damn.
I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know.
I thought it was someone else, but
Yeah, because they both
man,
worked at Field Mess for a while.
yeah, yeah,
Because he was a
yeah.
staff sergeant, she was a gunny. Then he got promoted to gunny. They couldn't work together, and she ended up going somewhere else. I think, or maybe he. No, she ended up going
No, it
somewhere else.
wasn't Glover. It wasn't Glover. It was another name. Oh, it wasn't Glover. It was
Pretty sure it was.
uh, oh gosh,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
bother me.
Morgan would know. Speaking of that, Morgan's
I
going to
know.
be on the spotlight next Friday.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I talked to him.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm excited.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Uh,
I will make sure I am free so I can freaking
Hell
ask
yeah,
a shit ton of questions to him.
absolutely.
I'm gonna bug him.
Yeah,
But no, oh
yeah.
gosh,
I can't remember what their name was. I thought it was Club.
no. I know I'm in here trying to look him up on Facebook right now because
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
but no, I mean, I'll share this interesting story. It was um I was a PFC, and this is my first birthday. This is before I met you,
Hmm.
but I think I told you the story. But it was my first birthday alone. This is before I was married to my ex, um, and uh, I was pissed off. I was highly upset because I was alone. I didn't
Hmm.
have anybody with me. And freaking Lance Corporal freaking not Guzman. I think it was Guzman. Lance Corporal Guzman or something like that. Um was in his room drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels
Hmm.
and Coke, Jack and Coke. And he found out it was my birthday. So he was like, "All right, come here, PFC, come drink with me." And I was like, "All right." Underaged. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Um so I never liked hard alcohol in the first place. So he gives me a a, a shot of straight Jack, and then he gives me a red cup of Coke with a little bit of Jack. And then I take the shot. Mind you, I'm sitting down the whole time I'm drinking, and I drink my Jack and Coke. Then he gives me another shot
Hmm.
of Jack, and then he gives me more Jack and Coke, but this time it was more Jack.
Yeah.
So it was like half and half Jack. And
Yeah.
then I was like, cool. So I'm doing my standstill dancing in a chair, just vibing, right?
Hmm.
Having a good time. And he serves me another shot. And he was like, all right, here's a shot. And then he serves me another Jack and Coke, but this time it's like 3/4 Jack, a quarter Coke.
Yeah.
Now, I'm about 4 or 5. I don't remember about what happened after that. I know I was just drinking, and I got so shit faced drunk to the fact that I was on the deck,
Hmm.
uh, the middle deck, because that's where we were. That's where our rooms were at.
Yeah.
Um, walking around, and Corporal Clo- Kosler,
Costler.
Kosler.
Oh, damn.
Oh, oh my God!
Good
So
old Becky.
she
Oh my god, dude.
she comes over, and I lose my shit, and I'm trying to make out with this corporal.
Oh my god, dude.
I was like, Corporal Corsola, you know you want me, shit, and you know, fuck it, let's just make it happen.
Oh, Becky.
And she's like, PFC Williams, and I was like, I don't see no blouse on me. Hey, this is William, this is Alex, let's just
Oh,
have a good time.
yeah.
And she's like, you're drunk, and that's fine. You just need to go and relax. And
Yo.
I was all like, I'll be better relaxing with you. Uh,
Yeah, dude.
and I'm
Oh.
taking shots, bro. Mind you, I drink so much to the point to where I damn near gave myself alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
I make it back to my room, and this is why, like, I damn near praise Christopher White, is because he was my roommate,
Yeah.
and when he knew I was drunk, like, this is that moment where people would be like, "Are you gay?" And I would mention this, and they'd be like, "Well, I don't know, but I respect the boy. I respect my boy for what he did." He took care of me to the point to where I was throwing up. He made sure I was in the toilet, or I was in the bathroom throwing up in the toilet.
Yeah.
And then he was all like, "All right, you got to take a shower." So another grown man undressed me, put me in the shower, made sure I washed myself,
Yeah.
like, took care of me, and then made sure I got out, put on my own pajamas, and got back in bed.
Yeah.
Like, that's a freaking roommate. Like,
Yeah.
that dude took care of me. And then was all like, "Get up, we gotta go to work."
Mm-hmm.
I was all, I'm hungover. I'm
Yeah.
hungover. And I go in, and guess who's there assigning the job duties?
Mm.
Corporal Costler. Costler. Oh my
Oh,
God.
good old Becky. Yeah.
And so I'm like, as soon as I see her, I go, "Fuck." And she
Oh,
goes, "Williams, did you have a good night last night?" "Yes, Corporal." "All right, good. So that means you could be on the grill today."
hell yeah.
Uh, "Yes, Corporal." Now, for those who don't understand, I'm in front of a 400-degree grill cooking omelets, eggs, hash, whatever people come in and they want me to put in their omelet or whatever. That's what I'm making. And man, I was oozing Jack Daniel. I had people talking about, "Oh, he was drunk." He- I'm sweating alcohol. Jack is not my friend.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm done, I the, the shift was, the last person in line had just passed. I booked it, and I booked it as fast as I could before I threw up in the front chow line
Ugh.
to the bathroom in the back.
Yeah.
Came back, and they was all like, "Hey, Williams, you can't go until you clean the grill." Worst day in the Marine Corps ever.
Yeah.
And
Good
the
times.
Gaylord for that. Oh,
Oh,
oh my gosh. Good times, but
good
worst
times.
day ever. I swear
Yeah.
that I had to give it up to my boy Chris White for that, and for Corporal, because she was a go getter for that one. She
Oh
did me
boy,
dirty though.
she was a go-getter for sure.
I heard.
For sure. Did she? No, she hit on me. She hit on me the first day I was in the unit. No, the first weekend I was in the unit, we had a car wash, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even live in these barracks, but why am I here for a car wash? I'm standing out in front of the barracks, and she pulls her car up. She drove a manual
Uh-huh.
stick shift, and she pulls it up, and then she tosses me the keys, and I was like, oh, she was a lance corporal this time, and I just picked up
Get down.
lance corporal. No, I just picked up. No, I was about to pick up lance corporal. She gives me the keys, and I was like, oh, excuse me, lance corporal, you can't you can't park right here. She's like, well, you move it. Okay, so I got in, and then she kind of like stopped, turned around, and got in, and she was like, can you drive a stick shift? So I haven't in a while, but that's how I learned how to drive. And so I shifted in at first, and she put her hand on me, and she's like, well, maybe I could give you lessons. And I was like, like, I don't even know you, like, uh, she's
Oh god.
she's cool as fuck.
She is.
But
First
her,
time I met her, I was like, "You need lotion."
oh, bro, uh, the first, so we became really cool friends after that, and just because she was like, she was all about her business, whatever. No shame in her game. and she, like I said, like I called her Becky earlier because it's her first name, and she loved that song by Plies, Becky. She used to sing it all the time and everything. She's like, I love this song. It's got my name in it. I said, yo, I. She was a corporal this time. I said, yo, corporal, you know what this song's about, right? She's like, no, what do you mean? I said, this song's about blowjobs. This song's about sucking dick. She's like, what? I said, yo, listen to the word. Like, listen to the words. And I was like, you know what? Here, let me explain it to you. I put it on my phone and we sat here and listened. And I was like, this is about this and that and this. I said, it's about getting drunk and sucking dick. And she was like, I can't listen to the song more. She's like, I've been singing this all over the place, bumping it in my car and driving around, like, she's like, I've been so into it. I listen to it at work and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
well, like, don't. Oh,
Don't.
that's awesome, though. Yeah, good time.
No,
Anyways,
I've met a lot
so
of people. Yeah, it's great.
any last piece of advice if you were going to give to anybody who thought about joining the military?
Um, the only advice I could say is make sure it's something you're ready for.
Yeah,
And what I mean by make sure it's something you're ready for is make sure it's your decision. Make sure you are the driving force on attempting or signing the dotted line to become a part of any brotherhood of armed forces. You don't want to do it just because a family member did it. I mean, that's a good driving point, but that's a life change that you have to be prepared to have
yeah,
because it's gonna change your life. And I'm sorry, it's not all glory and everything. It's gonna be shitty. It's gonna be crappy. But if that is the choice that you do make, own up to it and take pride in it, knowing that other U.S. citizens can't do it,
yeah,
and they're scared to,
100%.
and be proud knowing that you took the bigger step to do it. So, if it's something you want to do, make sure it's your choice. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourselves into, and own it. That's all I can say is own it.
Absolutely.
Be happy with the mistake you made. Be happy with the choice, good or bad. And I say mistake because you're gonna go in and you're gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. But then when you're wearing your dress blues or your dress uniform or whatever, and you
Yeah,
be like, damn, I look good. Yeah, hey, take that, own it, and wear that badge with pride. Because
absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, not everybody could be Marines. They can try to be, but not everybody can. And I take pride in that. So
Yeah,
you want to join the brotherhood, join it,
absolutely.
and for life.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, it's 100%. I couldn't agree more. It's all about you make a choice, you stand by it. It's
yes,
your and that's it in life in general. Like I I try to do everything I can to the best that I can because I'm putting my name on whatever I do. My name, my
right,
brand, I'm putting myself on there, and I don't want to be known as that person who you can't count on,
right,
or they're only there when times are easy, or that person who uh, is very you can't trust their work or anything like that. You know, you put your name on something, you stand behind it, and you give it your best, and
right.
that's how I that's how I live my life, and I definitely feel like that's so important. Is if you're gonna do it, do it. If you say you're gonna do something, do it to the best of your
And do
abilities.
it.
No matter if you hate it, if whatever, if you agreed to do it, you gave your word. You suck it up for whatever you agree to, and you do it. So yeah,
Yeah, I that's and I mean that really hits home for a lot of people, for myself, because your word in the Marine Corps, your word is your only bond,
absolutely.
and you'll learn that. But if you're gonna join any armed forces, you need to make sure this is something you want to do, not your family. You, because your family's not going to go through boot camp. Your family's not going to deal with the trials and tribulations of going on deployments and losing lifelong brothers and sisters and in battle or just in distance. Like you are going to be going through that, so you have to be ready to understand this is the choice that you're making and own it.
Yeah,
That's it.
100%, absolutely true. But yeah, I think we touched on a lot of topics. I know you have some prior arrangements you have to deal with. Um, so, but I really appreciate you being here. I we could talk for hours. We do talk for hours all the time.
um, I will say this: are you still gonna be doing the D2?
Oh, tonight?
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't sure because we'll talk about that off. I'll message you about that, or we'll talk about it after we finish this.
bet.
But yeah, I wanted to thank you for coming out, hanging out, and sharing your experiences.
Always.
I I couldn't think of a better person to end 20 on this channel to end
Hey, yeah.
2021 with. You've
That's what
been,
I'm talking about.
I mean, this channel wouldn't exist, if I didn't have, if you weren't in my life for 100%. So I tell myself I'm not going to get emotional, so I'm not going to get emotional. Uh, but
Yeah, I got you, bro. I
yeah,
got you.
but
I feel you on that.
but yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I know you don't do, normally I'm like, yo, you want to plug something, but you don't do, you're not, you don't stream. You're not,
No,
your social media is your social media. So, um, yeah, so I guess we'll just skip that part. uh,
yeah.
and
Until I come up with something.
yeah, absolutely, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Um, but anyways, so I'm gonna sign off. This is gonna be on YouTube. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you very much. I super appreciate you guys out there. You guys are great.
Thank you for the support. Yeah.
Absolutely. And shameless plug: if you're a veteran or you know a veteran who'd like to be on the spotlight, feel free to reach out. You can join the Discord. I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch, 3 p.m. to about 6 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. I'm on the West Coast, Best Coast.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so yeah, feel free to send a message anywhere. YouTube, I don't. Yeah, YouTube. We've got a Facebook page, not very active. Twitter, and I'm more active on Twitch. I'm trying to get active on everything, but it's a different story for a different time. But anyways, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody so much for the support that came out. I know I ignore chat when we do these, but I want to thank everybody who was in here. Especially, I want to thank my brother for hopping on here and kind of hanging out, and my nephew.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and yeah. But anyways, so I'm not gonna plug next stuff because this is going on Twitch. But anyways, thank you very much for your love and support. Remember who you are. See you in the next one.